Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Watch of Realms video. In today's video, I want to talk about the summoning event that we have going on this weekend, and I will just give you my opinion on what they are, if you should be summoning, and all of that. So hope you enjoy it, right? So first of all, I'm gonna look at it obviously from the perspective of everything that I can, in the sense of, like, you know, early, mid game, end game, all of it, right? Because, well, my account is actually just 60-day account, right? I just hit 60 days today, so there's plenty of stuff that I still need to progress. There's plenty of stuff I still need to do. So some of these ones might be really useful. Now, the first one that we have every single time is gonna be, you know, the 2x chances from divines, and then from the normal summons, and then 2x chances from divine. Now, that one's pretty straightforward. You avoid it, right? Like, most of the time, unless you're doing something really specific that you really need to get from random 2x, you're not pulling out that, right? If you're somebody that just started playing the game, then maybe you might be pulling out that 2x, but if you just started playing the game, you're better off trying to go on the other ones, because they have some really good heroes on them. So when it comes to the 2x chances, just straight up no. I do believe that the only time that the 2x is actually worth it is when it's a 2x and a 15x, right? When the 15x hero that goes alongside this 2x, that's when you would go for it, because that's the only time that it would be worth it to try and get specific legendaries, okay? Next one, let's look at the 15x, right? So we do have a 15x from Special Invocation of Spirits, and we do have the same 15x for Special Divine Summoning. Now this one, I believe almost everybody should be going for it, right? If you're somebody that's early game, to get the Gluttony would be really helpful as a fighter. To get Olag, even though you do get Olag for free in the, from the Void Rift, you would still get some awakenings for him that would make him really useful. Then Cellcath, honestly, is the only one that I believe is kind of meh. Maybe, I don't know, if anybody ever used Cellcath anywhere, let me know in the comments down below, and why. Just why would you use it when there's different other options? Now, when we look at the legendaries, things get a bit spicy, right? So first of all, if you look at Magda, she's obviously one of the ones that I really want, right? I really want a Magda because she's pretty unique, and I cannot think of 5 heroes in the game that can do what she does, right? And by that I mean specifically this one. So when she charges her ultimate, she's a melee unit, she's a fighter that does magic damage. That on itself is pretty unique. I think there's maybe, like, again, up to 5 ones that do that. There's like Zilitu, there's Eris, and like, you know, just at the top of my head I cannot think. However, most of those ones don't have kind of like that, you know, area of effect damage, which makes Magda extremely powerful and unique. Because again, her normal range is like this, deals damage up to 5 enemies. That's huge already, that's really good. Then obviously she has some passive that gives her penetration increase and magic the damage increase, right? Sorry, damage increase. Again, that can be really good. And then the last passive, upon triggering timing ultimate basic attack, knockback enemies lasting for 6 seconds, right? So that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure what the power of the knockback is, if it's 1 or 2 once, but this can be extremely powerful even for Gift Dungeon 2. But then the ultimate's the main event from my point of view. This one's so good that it can be useful in several areas of the game, right? So each attack lands 3 strikes for 20 seconds, with each dealing 160% AoE damage. So her damage is pretty good. She has a really wide range, which makes her, for example, extremely powerful for something like AMR, right? If you're trying to do AMR stage 21, she's gonna be really powerful to be there. If you don't have an Estrid, or if you already have an Estrid, getting her as well, those two facing towards each other, when they pop their ultimates, they should pretty much clear those waves, right? AMR 21 should be a joke if you have a decently built Magda and Estrid, and that's, you know, that's kind of like GG for you for doing that. Not only that, again, because she's a magic fighter, she can be useful for Gift Dungeon 2, even Gift Dungeon 1, right, just behind the tank, if you want to use her as another damage dealer, if you don't have a Volca, which is kind of like the queen. It is a bit trickier if you don't have anti-healing, though, because, you know, if they get to your tank, she can hit them, but then the tank getting hit, they heal up if you don't have anti-healing. But the main one's the AMR. Like, I really want this for AMR. And also, you know what, the Codex, the Conqueror Codex, because she has the big range, you can put her behind the wall, she can survive, she can do a ton of damage, and she's one of the, you know what, she's one of the best fighters in the game from my point of view. And I'm definitely pulling this weekend, and I'm hoping to get her. So that's about Magda. Now, let's look at Fenris. Well, Fenris is the new legendary, right? He's the new hero that's gonna come in the game. He's a northerner that's a marksman, and the funny thing about him is he's not double faction, right? He's not a piercer as well. However, he starts with a massive range, right? That's the Maul range, right? Same as Maul has that massive range, and he does some really quirky stuff. So first of all, if you look at the first one, deals 100% damage up to 5 enemies, prioritizes airborne units. So AoE hitter, that's pretty good. It's piercing damage, so it's not it's not magic damage, which means again he can be quirky in several areas of the game. Then if you look at the first passive, when an enemy enters attack range, deals 300% damage to one enemy and 220 damage to up to 5 nearby enemies of this target. This effect can be triggered one time every 12 seconds. And I think after it's booked, you can do it every 10 seconds, which means this is massive damage. Just by doing, single target attack every 10 seconds, he just does a massive amount of damage without casting any skill, right? This is just a part of a auto stuff. Then if you look at this passive, when allies on the battlefield have a shield, they gain rage regen. This is really good if you think about a team that you would have northerners in, and he's in that team, providing that extra rage regen, because I don't think, for example, you don't have somebody like an LON, he can bring that, because it does say over here, takes effect only when stronger than the current buff debuff on the same attribute. So if you have LON and him, I don't think they would work together, right? I'm not sure if it works with Hollows one, even though Hollows one works a bit different, but still, this is really powerful. I don't know if anybody knows or has seen this. Let me know. Does this stack with LON's one or not? I think it doesn't, but it might stack with Hollows one, because Hollow's rage regen only happens when she does her ultimate or when she heals. So that might be a bit quirky, but still, it's really powerful. Again, if you think about a northerner team that you might make, he's gonna be really good with that. And now's the main event, right? The ultimate that makes him a little bit of a quirky, interesting, and I believe to be pretty useful hero for, again, several areas of the game. So knocks back up to 10 enemies in range with 2 times strength, dealing 600% AoE damage, which goes up to 800% after you skill it, and inflicting stun for 3 seconds. So, not only does he knock back, he brings stun as well. That's extremely powerful. The hero also gains a shield equal to 50% max HP for 10 seconds. So he brings damage, he brings knockback, and he brings stun, which means he's going to be useful in any areas of the game, right? You want to use him in Gear A3, he's going to be perfect. On the left side, right side, wherever you want to use him. Do you want to use him in stuff like Gear Dungeon 2? Like, that's the first thing that came into my head. When I saw this 2 times strength knockback, I'm like, boom, he's gonna be at the bottom, the damage dealer, because at the bottom, obviously, you cannot do, you cannot do magic damage. He's gonna be perfect because, well, pair him with the Volca, job done, or maybe even him on his own. He already does AoE damage. When he does this, he also does knockback, which means the one that, does damage and explodes, you can push him back with this one, so he's just gonna be perfect. And he also brings stun, which means, you can even keep them locked out a little bit if you want. Same thing, AMR, if you want to bring him in there, he's gonna push them back, because also look at that range. Look at that massive range. It's like, this is the normal range, but no, let's add another couple of layers. This is just huge. So even an AMR, he can be a good damage dealer and control for the waves. Guild versus Guild, like, don't get me started on Guild versus Guild. I'm not a massive fan of Guild versus Guild, I'm not the best at it, but he's gonna be huge for that one, because again, Guild versus Guild, you want control, you want damage, you want to just keep the waves busy. He does the knockback, he pushes them, plus also the skill cost. It's 700, right? 700 when you fully skill it up, that's not too high. He should be coming back to it fast, plus he gains that shield, right? So, which means that if he gains that shield, he's gonna have the rage regen, right? Self-rage regen on himself for 6 seconds. If you fully skill up, that's 10 seconds. So, which means after he casts his ultimate, he has that shield, he regenerates again. He's gonna be doing this ultimate a lot, right? I might be judging it wrong, but I believe Fenris is gonna be a monster, right? I believe he's gonna be a monster for Guild versus Guild, for, like, almost every area of the game. Even also this range, if you think about the Codex boss, the Pelagios, you don't need a Lord, right, for him. If you don't have a Piercer Lord, like I don't have one, I'm really sad, I don't have a Piercer Lord. This one's gonna be insane. It's insane, so honestly, I believe Fenris 100% worth going for. I think everybody should go all in on this weekend, because both of the legendaries are extremely powerful, and even the epic, like I said, Gluttony, Oleg, really good. Now let's cover the ancients as well. I guess most people might know it. If you don't, these two are gonna be insane, right? Praetus is one of the best lords in the game, right? You have him and Ingrid. Ingrid's a bit better, but Praetus is a single target damage monster. He brings 2 damage. He has some insane stuff. The lord skill that he brings with that lighting is extremely powerful because it does damage anywhere on the map. But also the most important thing that I love about this one is when you use that skill, that stun, right? What's it called? The lord skill. It's kind of like a lightning. It stuns. What is good? That gonna be good. Titanic Ruins. That one can be like 3 stuns to lower the chainsaw damage, right? It can be really powerful. It boosts his attack as well. He's just a monster overall. Praetus, 100% worth it. I'm personally gonna be pulling because he's gonna be amazing. And then Uredin again can be extremely powerful for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, really good for attack, for BP, right? He's one of the highest, if not actually the highest BP in the game, which means when you want to do your demon soldiers in for guild versus guild, he's gonna be the perfect one to have as one of those. Number 2, he's obviously chaotic and cultist. You know, the dual factions can be really good in stuff like Codex, right? If you think about the Conqueror boss in the Codex, he can be really good. And then 3, I guess, like I said, guild versus guild, right? Guild versus guild is gonna be a really good place for him. And actually, even because he's a fighter that does magic damage, he can be really powerful in Gear Dungeon 2 at the top, or again Gear Dungeon 1, again at the top or at the bottom, wherever you need some extra help with magic damage. So I believe this weekend is not a skip, right? I believe this weekend is a yes please, let's pull everything, let's hope we get some good stuff. But I guess I'm gonna leave it at this. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Which part do you disagree with? And why would you not summon this weekend? But yeah, thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.
Hell hath no fury like a mother